The Jeffrey Epstein saga has, I think it has been, at least on the internet, it has been the most damaging thing to Donald Trump's campaign and his presidency.
President Trump is doing just about everything in his power to quash a story that just will not go away.
Yep.
The Jeffrey Epstein scandal. And that includes name calling. Just yesterday, the stunning fallout between him and one of his biggest loyalists intensifies as he attacked MAGA Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene as a, quote, traitor. Made her push to release the Epstein files. This after using the power of his government to try to change the focus of the story away from him, demanding a Justice Department probe of Democrats' ties to Epstein, something Attorney General Pam Bondi quickly said she would do, despite DOJ's past assessment that there wasn't evidence worth pursuing. But to Trump's dismay...
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's evidence, there's no evidence, there's files, here's some there is no files, here are some of the files, we don't have anything, here's something. Like, where is there any consistency with this at all? It's crazy.
About to face the biggest rebuke from his party of his entire second term. When later this week, scores of House Republicans plan to vote to release the case files. All as some newly released Epstein emails show Trump mentioned by name, though the president has not been accused of any criminal wrongdoing.
Yeah,
Still,
he's mentioned, but that doesn't mean that he did anything wrong.
He made clear this weekend he does not want to discuss any of it.
Uh-oh.
We think it's bad to talk about it because it gets away from the subject of how well the Republicans are doing. We have the greatest economy. We have the largest investment ever made in our country's history. We have all of these great things happen. When you talk about the Epstein hoax, what happens is you're not talking about how well we've done. This is a hoax put out by the Democrat, and a couple of few Republicans have gone along with it because they're weak and ineffective. But this is a Democrat hoax to get away from the fact that they just lost it.
If it's a hoax, then just release it and show everybody that it's bullshit. Like, I don't even understand the logic here. Yeah, then just release it.
Shut down, and they've lost the elections. They've lost the big election to be in a record number.
All right, we have an excellent panel to break this all down. Let's go. Politico's Dasha Burns, CNN's Jeff Zeleny, CNN's Isaac Dover, and the Washington Post's Mariana Sotomayor. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
Nice to see you all. Okay, so
there's no it. Didn't he run on releasing the files?
Yeah, he said he would. In 2021, as an unflinching Trump loyalist, someone who was MAGA through and through, wore a MAGA hat to the State of the Union on the House floor.
Yeah,
and now Trump is putting out messages like this over the last several days, calling her a ranting lunatic, saying she's gone far left. She's a disgrace to our Republican Party. She's betrayed the entire Republican Party. She turned left.
It's a big crash out.
And then calling her a traitor just yesterday. Okay, first of all, wow.
Wow.
I was not expecting that. What is he trying to do here? Is it just to send a message to the rest of the party that he will not take even an ounce of dissension here?
Well, I think the
this is always what Trump has done. He's always gone nuclear on people that have disagreed with him about anything. And I think it's actually one of his big weaknesses, because if you can't tolerate dissent in a way that's reasonable, you end up making it inevitable. And I think that's what's happened.
Concern here is Marjorie Taylor Greene could be creating a permission structure for other Republicans, other MAGA Republicans, to start to disagree with the president, to buck him on some of these critical issues. I mean, look, Epstein opened the door, right? And it's still one of the biggest concerns for the White House in terms of how these votes are going to go in the House and then in the Senate. But Epstein, followed by some dissension on the president's foreign policy. Now, most recently, the suggestion of a 50-year mortgage. Even Fox News.
Who the fuck wants a 50-year mortgage? Like, nobody wanted it. Nobody asked for this.
Newsmax influencers on the right are against that policy. We are seeing these fractures among the base that is just not something that the White House, especially President Trump himself, is used to.
Yeah, and it's, is it just...
Well, it's because he didn't deliver on the shit that he said he was going to do. That's the problem. People voted for him to do something. He's not doing the thing. Like, it's so simple. It's not like this is some complex, oh, how could something like this happen? It's so obvious how it happened because he said he was going to do something. He's not doing the thing. There it is.
What Trump always does here, which is anytime there's someone who criticizes him, he goes after them, whether it's Liz Cheney or any other. You can go back down the line of Bob Corker, and for many, many years, this has been his MO. Is it different, though, because it's MTG and who she represents?
I mean, I think the actions of the president are similar. I mean, we knew, obviously, as she has been sort of rising in her prominence, going on The View in recent weeks. And
I don't think that rising in prominence means going on The View. I think this is CNN's permission structure in trying to create a false consensus by people that are capitulating to their mass media bullshit apparatus that is propped up by these massive corporations that are completely biased. No, she's not growing in any real notoriety in any big way just because she went on a few retarded TV shows. This is what they do, and like this is what mainstream media does: is they try to manufacture consensus by having a degree of like kind of they create an ecosystem that allows them to manufacture consensus about different issues, and I think this is a good example of them doing that.
Really going after Speaker Johnson, and then really not backing down at all on the Epstein
it's exhausting.
matter and other things. It's not just that. What I'm sort of struck by in this is her criticism is pretty broad-based. She's talking about
she's getting massive support. No, she's not going to go anywhere with this. Like the type of like she's right with the Epstein stuff, but this isn't really anything that I think is a political winning strategy because she's never going to have Democrats and progressives and liberals vote for her. Like it's just never going to happen. Even it doesn't matter how many apologies that you do. It doesn't matter anything. You will always be the Trump person. Like the boats are burned. The bridge is burned. It's never going to happen. Like the problem is these people are like defined by purity testing. That you're not going to apologize to them and then have them vote for you. So you're effectively alienating voters yourself by trying to appeal to the other side. But you end up losing voters, and then a handful of people from the other side are like, oh, she's not as bad as we thought she was, but they're not going to actually vote for you. They're going to vote for their person instead, right? So it's kind of what I've always said about how whenever you play the optics game with people like this is a game that is rigged for you to lose. You are designed to lose in the game of optics because they want you to lose in the game of optics. And that's it. It's deceptive. Yes, it is.
Healthcare.
She's talking about
she's to the right of Trump, not to the left. Well, what my point is about it is that like trying to apologize and capitulate to Democrats or leftists will never work. It will never work, and it will only make people more frustrated with you, and it will not increase the amount of people that are voting for you. It will decrease it. Fundamentally, like that's the bottom line. It will decrease the amount of people that are voting for you.
Exactly. And things that look like I still support you. She always sort of phrases it with, I still like the president, but. And those buts are getting pretty significant. So, Dasha, to your point about the permission structure, that is going to be interesting to see how many Republicans obviously join the ranks of voting to release the Epstein files. The White House still wants to keep that number down, but the reality is they know that there's very little
Are they going to push very hard to try to do that this week? Or are they?
It's unclear. The pressure campaign last week to try to get Lauren Boebert to not sign the discharge petition, it failed spectacularly, and it was sort of an embarrassment. I mean, having a rank-and-file member of Congress over to the White House in the Situation Room complex to have this meeting, she ended up not removing her name from it.
This is my opinion on the whole thing, is that I don't think that the Epstein files are a partisan issue at all. And I think that they're playing it as if they are, but the media is just intentionally misrepresenting this. Biden had control of the Epstein files for 4 years, and they never got released and nothing happened. So I don't want to hear about how the Democrats actually care about the Epstein files. The Democrats are only pushing this because obviously they think it can make Trump look bad. So that's the only real reason. Like, it's not like there's any sort of ideological, drive to this.
So we will see what the numbers are, but I am told the White House is still trying to keep them somewhat
They were sealed until January 2024. They're sealed. Who sealed them? Just unseal them. Who just... You're using a bureaucratic justification for why we can't go after a pedophile network. Do you really think that I care about your artificial red tape? The judge did. So at a certain point, whenever you have a judge that has made a decision that says you can't investigate a international pedophile network, why the fuck would you listen to the judge? What are we talking about? Just don't listen to them. Yeah,
We'll
get
see if
another
that's
judge.
75 Republicans.
Yeah, get another judge.
100 Republicans. That would be extraordinary.
People are so addicted to rules that they never think about what the right thing to do is.
You just get the sense that things are a little bit different now. It's too early to call the president a lame duck, there's no doubt. But you can just get the sense that things are slightly
That's what's really scary for this
different.
White House about this, is the idea that a lame duck period is looming here.
This is why, by the way, I didn't vote for Trump. This is exactly the reason why. Is that I was very unhappy about his first term, that he didn't do, like, he's done a lot better in his second term. I feel like overall, like, I'm kind of happy with how Trump has been as a president, but my sentiment overall is that I didn't feel like he would do what I wanted him to do, basically.
I think this gives that little
He's all talk,
flavor.
yeah. He's a
it could be a
bullshitter.
window into the post-Trump era. Here's what MTG said about in responding to all of
Like,
this.
and I thought I was wrong after the Iran bombing. I was like, oh my God, maybe this actually is, like, he's actually going to be doing shit now. Because, like, basically what I voted for Trump to do was, like, what he did with the DEI stuff on day one. What I voted for him to do is what he did with, like, for example, Iran. Like, you just come out and say, yeah, we already blew up all the nuclear facilities and that's it. You didn't vote? Yeah, exactly. But I would have voted, if I would have voted, that would have been what I voted for. Does that make sense?
One of the things that she said the
Doge?
Americans
Yeah, exactly.
wish he would fight this hard.
Like, whenever they closed the USAID, I was like, okay, wow, maybe I might have been wrong. Maybe I should have voted for him. But now I'm, like, still kind of on the fence, and I feel kind of justified in not doing it.
Forgotten men and women who are fed up with foreign wars and foreign causes, are going broke trying to feed their families, and are losing hope of achieving the American dream. That's what I voted for. Is she more in line with the base in some ways than Trump?
Well, yeah, I mean, well, this is what I think a lot of Republicans and people that voted for Trump wanted. Deport every single fucking illegal alien, take their houses and give them to people that are Americans here that don't have houses. Deport the net negative, like resident fucking, people that are non-citizens. Just deport them. Like, get rid of them. Like, if these people are not a net positive to the country and they're living here and we're paying for it and it's costing us money, then send them back. Yeah, get them the fuck out of here. Like, it's so obvious. But why didn't you vote? Because I didn't feel like he earned my vote by the way that he performed in his first term. Pretty simple. Now, if you put a gun to my head and you said, would you have voted for Kamala or Trump? I would have easily voted for Trump 1,000,000 times over. But I don't think that you should vote for people based off of the lesser of two evils, because if you do that, you get stuck with increasingly worse evils. That's my opinion.
I think the problem that she's hitting at here is that Donald Trump has not been able to answer the question why. Why is he fighting so hard?
And also, like, I don't have, like, there's no, I don't, like, if you're the kind of person that says, I want to vote for the lesser of two evils because I care more about that, I don't think that there's a wrong opinion on that, right? I mean, like, if that's what you want to do, you should be able to do that. But I'm just giving you, like, people ask me, like, why didn't you do this? This is the reason why I didn't do it.
Files from being released. He's not explained that. He's also not explained why prices are not down when his entire campaign was really based on that idea that he would be attacking prices.
Yeah,
and he
like
has
the price
said,
of eggs,
maybe it's
shit like that,
leftover from the Biden days. But we are 10 months into the Trump presidency, and prices, it's not like they've stayed high. They've gotten higher. People are seeing electricity bills that are higher. They're seeing grocery prices that are higher. And the public...
Well, they're always going to continue going higher because of inflation. So you're always going to have prices go up, but the problem is that revenue and not really revenue, income for the average person hasn't gone up higher than the prices. That's the real problem.
Seems to be associating that with the tariffs, and certainly Donald Trump does too, given that he despite this argument that the tariffs are because of a national emergency situation, that's how he gets around the law, and that he can just do it himself, is just haphazardly lowering them, including on the groceries in the last couple of days, just saying we're going to make coffee cheaper. Well, if the tariffs are getting rid of the tariffs and making coffee and other food and meat cheaper, then the tariffs made that food higher, the prices higher. And so that when Marjorie Taylor Greene hits on these things, it is this like, I thought that Donald Trump was saying he was the fighter for
Well, I mean, to be fair with the tariff thing, like Trump has talked about tariffing people for 40 years. Like if you're mad that Trump was using tariffs, you are a retard. He said he was going to do this the entire time.
Things, and he has not shown it in her mind.
Yeah, and this is obviously comes ahead of this vote that's happening, we expect on Tuesday in the House to call for the release of the Epstein files.
Just despawn BlackRock from the living world? No, I think, and that's another thing, right? Is that why are houses being used as, like, why are residential housing units being used as speculative assets and basically rental properties in mass by large corporations and private equity? Because, like, can't you just make a law against that and just stop people from doing that? You can just stop that from happening. Really, you just stop at free market? Well, the problem with a free market is that a free market is one of the most controlled things that you can have, because a free market is defined by the people that have the most capital. That's the reason why.
The Republican leadership was
And also, by the way, it's fundamentally not a free market because of how many regulations there are on housing. There's like a residential district, like housing regulations. There's a million fucking regulations to housing. I don't want to hear about free market inside of housing.
Do this despite the push by the White House to try to kill this effort for months. Now it is finally coming to a head on the House floor. But I want to first look at the polling about where the public stands at large about the issue of the Epstein files. Overall, just 19% of the public approve of Trump's handling of this.
Well,
That includes just 10% of independents. But that Republican number is pretty interesting.
I don't care about the approval rate. The disapproval rate is what matters. Most people hate this. That's crazy. Most people hate it. Wow.
44%
That's
of
really
Republicans
bad.
approve of Trump. I mean, that is unusual because typically Trump's like the 90% on most issues when it comes to Republicans. It's 44%.
Yeah, sure.
But it also speaks to why we expect in the House a significant number of Republicans to break ranks here. What are you hearing from your reporting in whether they can reach that critical threshold, which is...
You can't stop it. They'll just keep opening multiple LLCs with a new max limit of homes that you can own. I don't know how you can control the number of homes a person can own. Well, if you do that, you just arrest them. Just arrest them for fraud and manipulation. Yeah, just do that. You really think that you can't stop somebody from doing something? Do you think that you could stop it if you could change the rules? Could you stop it from happening? You have to create frameworks and laws to prevent it? I don't know. I wish I could. I do. You could stop it easily. You do it, just repossess the house. You find out somebody's setting up a bunch of these LLCs, just repossess the house. Simple. Problem solved. And you've got to keep this in mind. Like, neither of us really know every in and out to this. Do you really think that the lawyers and the government politicians that do this as a job couldn't figure out how to do this? Really? They could never figure this out. It's crazy.
290, which is a veto-proof majority in the House. What is the likelihood of that?
I think it is possible, and the reason why is because the Epstein issue remains the singular issue that we have seen Republicans publicly flip on the president, publicly.
Well, yeah, it's the only thing that's completely indefensible. Absolutely.
Attack him necessarily, but want to continue releasing the files. I mean, there are a number of even vulnerable Republicans who say, yeah, I'm going to sign on to this, and even some more hardliners who say that they will do this. However, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene has also pointed out that Trump is using her as an example. If you start to speak out against him, it is possible that he's going to come after you the way that he is now coming after you.
I don't even think that he's thinking about it that much. I think Trump anybody that attacks him, Trump will automatically attack that person back no matter what. That's just what happens every single time.
So she even herself is saying...
Is it not obvious that it's because that he's in the files with the incriminating evidence? No, I don't think it's obvious, because if that was so obvious, then Biden would have released them for 4 years. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's that simple.
maybe the numbers are not going to be as high as we once thought. But the fact that Speaker Johnson is going to try and bring this up onto the floor to make sure it has a 2/3 majority, it's still putting Republicans on the record, even if it doesn't happen.
You can still vote against the president, though, without sort of doing what Marjorie Taylor Greene has done. She's sort of gone out there, but that's why the roll call is going to be interesting, particularly for Republicans like Ashley Hinson, for example, from Iowa, who's running for Senate. This is becoming an issue in the 2026 campaign. So I think it'll be interesting to see how many Republicans support this.
It's a completely indefensible, like the Epstein issue is kind of like, it's like the trans issue for Democrats. There is, like, if you explain the issue to a reasonable, normal person, and you say, this is the reason why we think that biological men should compete in women's sports, a reasonable, average person will think that you're insane. And I think the exact same thing is true with the Epstein files. Yeah, there is this pedophile that was like super prolific and he knew all of these really high profile people. And there's a lot of information and data about him that's not made public and it could incriminate a bunch of bad people, but they don't want to release it. If you tell that to an average person, every single one of those people are going to say, oh yeah, because they're biased and there's probably people that are in that. That's it. Like, really, it's logical. It's a complete, it's such an obvious logical conclusion that they're going to come to themselves. Yeah, and the guy killed himself while he was being completely had surveillance all the time, right? There's a logical problem with no trans women in sports. Yes, and what my point is that this is like a 90-10, 80-20 issue. And you saw the polling, and very clearly this is true. The majority of people are against the way that Trump is handling the Epstein files. Not that the majority, or there's an amount of people that are for it. There's only 19% of people that are for it. There's an undecided factor too, but there's also the majority of people overall are against the way he's handled this. And it's one of these issues that basically it's kind of like a good comparison to this for like Republicans was with like smoking weed. So for a very long time, like smoking weed and medical marijuana was a pretty big talking point for Republicans. And Republicans are generally against it because it's like a drug, right? And as soon as they moved away from that bullshit, or from gay marriage was another one too, where like the overwhelming majority of the population supported gay marriage. The overwhelming majority of the population supported medical marijuana. At a certain point, whenever you're a political party, you have to represent the will of the people. And it's very obvious that the will of the people is that these files are released and that people find out who's in them. Regardless of political affiliation, regardless of income or stature or position or anything, people want to know who's in the files. So that's the big, I think that in 2026, if they have the midterm elections, this will actually really damage the midterm elections. It will, because it is an indefensible position that there is no logical reason why you can't just release them. And it's the exact same thing with the trans thing. This is the Republican version of that. You know, check out Streamer Awards? Yeah, I'll look at that after this.
Without ever sort of really talking about it publicly. I mean, the president can't attack everyone to the degree
Hillary Clinton even spoke against gay marriage in the 2000s. Obama said in his 2008 presidential campaign that marriage is between a man and a woman. Absolutely. But then the sentiment changed, and so did they. That's what politicians are supposed to do. They have to represent the people.
He's done Marjorie Taylor Greene.
But that's why the Democrats forced this to not be a voice vote, which is what the Republicans tried last week.
Roll call.
They want everybody
on
want
them on the record,
yes.
so then this will be an issue in the campaign.
For sure.
There is one thing that Republican lawmakers are more scared of than President Trump, and that's President Trump's base. And right now, Trump and his base are not on the same page about this issue and a number of others, and that is going to...
I think it's primarily this issue, but yeah.
Have an impact on how they vote.
She talked about Marjorie Taylor Greene, H-1B visas, and other issues that Trump is breaking with his base on.
That's what populists do. A politician should represent an idea. Okay, sure. Why don't you be a politician that represents an idea that 57% of people disagree with? See how far that's going to get you. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and represent an idea that everybody doesn't like. Go do that. Go and do that for sure. And let me go back. I'll link you guys the video. But yeah, that's generally the way that I see it. I think that this will be a wedge issue that will demotivate and demoralize Republicans. And I think especially true online. But it is like kind of the trans thing, right? Where it's such a logical thing and big surprise, people are not supporting it, right? It's that simple.